a group, like not a group meet, but like a in-person meeting. Then we had it, and I
Mhm.
was looking at the screen, and every time somebody's talking, it's just popping. I'm like, yo, what the frick?
Yeah, it's like an owl, man. It track you down.
Terrifying. I hate
Okay, so
technology. I love it, but I hate it.
record this. Can't get away from it, man. You cannot get away from it. All right, so that
That
microphone
microphone
there,
there,
that
that
handheld there
handheld
is
there
for
is for
you.
you.
The owl
Owl
does
does
the
the
owl
owl
thing
thing
like you
like
know
you
it
know it
does.
does.
Let me
Let me
just
just
get your
get your
mic
mic
levels.
levels.
Just
Just
talking to
talking
the
to the
mic for
mic
a
for a
minute,
minute,
right
right
quick.
quick. Testing, one, two, testing, one, two. One, two, one, two. Scatting, AP, all of them. The
Uh-huh.
centers, the life, the hood,
All right.
everything. How we feeling?
All right, that should be good, man. The levels is proper. I'm gonna take these damn headphones off in a second. All right, man. All right, so let me see. I don't have no official intro to this, man. So I just kind of get right into it, man. But I guess my tagline I will do. It's your boy Oso. In case you ain't know, so rhymes also the some, but also most. Here as your host for the Let's Start the Conversation Culture on Culture podcast. And today, this is a conversation that's been long in the making. I've been hoping to have this conversation for a while. This is your moment for your flowers. That's it.
I'm ready to receive them.
Cause like I know I tell you this in person all the time, but I want to make sure this is documented, so folks, so I ain't just gassing you or
No, of
anything, not like
course.
that. It's for real. Like you're like one of my favorite people in life. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. Simply from the fact that like I know like first grade, something like that, maybe even earlier than that.
Earlier than that, I think you knew me since junior kindergarten.
You know what I mean? That was when you were running around with Mr. Fireman and I was Mr. Oso and thing and
Yep,
all of
yep,
that.
yep, yep, yep.
So and I was like last year of high school, 19, 20, 20ish, you know what I mean? And from them times till now, your growth, your progression, you're all like I'm super, super proud of that.
I appreciate
Like
it.
I'm super proud of the person that you become because Lord knows I don't feel like I had anything to contribute to that because at that era I was definitely not on the I was on the left side of the tracks and I don't think the influence that I had at that time was the best and to see that you were around all of that, not just me, but just in the area and around all of that element, and you managed to maintain the path that you were and be the role model that you are for the community, still in the community like you are. I'm super, super proud of that, and I don't think that can be stated enough. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to make sure that was fully documented for the folks out there. Yeah, this dude right here, I couldn't be more proud of anybody else in the world.
Man, I appreciate you for real,
Mm-hmm.
man. We came a long way, man, for real. Long way from just me being a little young kid running up to you asking for change, asking for toonies, asking for bags of chips, whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
to sitting here in a room right now being both two community leaders.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's amazing, really. I genuinely am very grateful to have a long lasting relationship like this, especially with one of the like not older guys, because that just makes you sound very old.
Nah, that's
But
cool. I'm good
one
with
of
my
the
age,
older
man.
guys that I watched run around while I was growing up, not even knowing what the hell you guys were really doing,
Yeah.
but just being able to get a better understanding and seeing how you were able to leave that to
Mm.
that side and be able to be like, yo, enough is enough. Let me take my steps to being a better person, and then coming back to working in a community that you grew up in,
Mm-hmm.
not only to mentor the younger youth, but to mentor the actual older youth as well. Because you said something to me a while ago, and it stuck with me, and it's like you said something along the lines of you being a youth worker, all your time being a youth worker. You don't know if the stuff that you said get through to kids or get through to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
but you just got to throw stuff at the wall, and eventually something will stick.
Mm-hmm.
You threw a lot at the wall, and I noticed what was at the wall, and I took bits and pieces of it over these past couple of years, like during just before COVID, during COVID or whatnot. And in a way, in a big way, actually, you are part of my growth of as a community leader because I've seen everything that you did, and I'm like, yo, if somebody who was down deeper than me in certain situations could get up, get away from it, and be like, yo, I could go do this.
Mm.
I could be this for that person. Why can't I? And I did it, and now I'm just pretty much following in your footsteps right now, in a way.
Appreciate love that. And I think the craziest part about that is I don't know if it's like I don't know if to say destined for the role or it's a role that's chosen or whatnot. Like I don't even know because even in saying that, I don't really notice the effect that I'm having. As you just said, like it's something I don't really notice in the point in time, but when you do hear those stories, like I remember I've heard stories on both sides of things where I've influenced people in either direction. And it's just crazy to me to, I guess, have that realization that somebody is watching you and somebody is having that admiration or seeing you in that certain light and want to follow those footsteps. You know what I mean? Like, especially coming back to do this community work, like I definitely took a moment with myself where I did have that realization that we are all role models, whether we like to be or not. And coming to ownership of that and saying, you know what, I'm good being a role model. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be an excellent role model. And I'm just going to carry myself in a certain fashion. Do you remember when that clicked for you, or do you know, or has it really clicked for you as yet?
To me being a role model, or me getting to understand
that ownership of that role.
Yeah, I feel like it just started coming as of recently, like recently being this year, on the effect that I had on the youth around me, because I started noticing that they would so all of the quote unquote bad stuff that they would do, they would try to hide it from me because they didn't want to disappoint me. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, I see the way that they see me and the quote unquote unk word that they throw around. It's not. It's like, yes, it's like a hazing type joke, but it's really like a powerful thing to them because they genuinely look to me as their uncle or like their family member or somebody that they could come to when there's problems or whatnot. And me noticing that them hiding stuff from me was actually the realization that it's like, okay, they don't want to disappoint me. They look to me as some type of model, whether it's good, bad, or whatever the case may be. They look at it like I'm somebody they don't want to disappoint. So it either makes them want to do better or makes them hide their bad stuff, so it looks like they're doing better in a way. Which is what I used to do back in the days too, when I'd get around certain people like let's say Molson, perfect example. I was not a bad kid, but I was a little like I wasn't the best
gangster,
kid.
Right? that was my nickname. I used to call him Baby Gangster. So
I wasn't the best kid, but I knew who to act good around and who not to act good around.
Yeah.
So number one was people's parents. Automatically, you see somebody's parent, good boy, like you're fixing your tie good. Yeah. As soon as that parent leaves, blah 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 blah. You see Molson, it's like, okay, I can't mess up my relationship with Moji because once I do that, I was cooked. Essentially, in that way, I was thinking as a kid, it's like, I don't want to say I was only trying to do good for Molson because he had the Raptors ticket links. But
it's
if I'm being entirely honest, a majority of us love the Raptor ticket. All of us love the Raptor ticket. Yeah. So when we came around Moji, we're on our super best behavior because it's like he sees everything. He's going to pick who gets to go to the game and who doesn't get to go to the game. Yeah. And he's going to remember who was being an a-hole and who wasn't. Yeah. So when I got around him, I was perfect.
On your P's and Q's.
On my P's and Q's.
I have to laugh at that because I know in doing the summer camp here a few times, in talking with the Calluses and whatnot, I notice when I walk into the room, all of a sudden kids want to fix up. All of a sudden they what they were doing before, and it was like, I'm just playing or whatnot. Now all of a sudden they know they ain't supposed to do it, and they fix up. But I'd always tell the counselors, I'd be like, yo, like, I don't like the fact that they act different when I walk into the room. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you guys should like it either, because it's I realize it's a respect level.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I can't carry on like this because so-and-so will call me out on that. Mm-hmm. Kids are smart.
No, they are.
I've realized.
They're smarter than they let on.
They're definitely smarter than we let, and they're a lot smaller than grown-ups or adults give them credit for. They do understand how to manipulate and who to manipulate. Right? And I think for me, that's the approach I've always had, is I don't treat them like they're kids. I treat them like they're humans. Mm-hmm. And I talk to them as such, and I reason with them as such, and they reason back. And I think they respect that fact, which is why when I walk into the room, they're more on their P's and Q's. Mm-hmm. Right? And also, I try to hold myself to the same standard I hold anybody else to.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going to have them doing anything that I wouldn't do.
No, of course.
And I think that's something else that they respect.
Also, one thing I will say, with myself doing summer camps as well, with the other staff that were there, of course, they knew what they were doing, of course, but, you know, kids will be kids regardless. Mm-hmm. They choose who they want to listen to and who they don't want to listen to. And I noticed from when I first got a cut, like when I first trimmed my beard, lined my beard up, they stopped listening to me. And then when I let it grow all scruffy and stuff, they started, it's like, is my beard playing this big of an effect in like a scary type look? Mm. And then I realized that they're not, I'm not gonna say they're scared, like in a oh, he's gonna hurt me way, but it's like when you look more grungier, I guess it just gives off that effect, like damn, he might actually yell at me today. He looks like he's having a bad day, but it's like, I'm the same exact person I was before the cut. I had to let the kids know that too. And they slowly started to adapt to me not getting my cuts or whatnot. And then, so like, sorry, I got kind of off track there with it's the kid, just to go back to what you're saying, kids know exactly what they're doing. Absolutely. And we got to treat them like humans rather than just little kids. Like, we all know they're little kids. They know they're little kids. We just got to treat them like actual humans, and then they'll actually cooperate with us on a healthier way. In a healthier way, sir. Mm-hmm. I would say.
So a while ago, there's this book that I read. It's called The Way of the Superior Man. Mm-hmm. And truth moment, like I was watching an interview with Nipsey Hussle, and he talked about that book and named a couple others, and that was one that kind of stuck with me, and I read that book. And after reading that book, the one thing that really stuck with me was the amount of ownership that you need to take over circumstances and your actions and whatnot. And especially when it comes to youth in the community and whatnot, I feel it's very, very important that we step into these role model roles a little more willingly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? For you, what was it? For me, there was a bunch of build-up moments. Mm-hmm. But I think with COVID, being isolated and just having a lot of time to actually sit by myself and with my own thoughts, it kind of crystallized that, one, I am a role model. Two, there are people who look at me with admiration and disgust in either fashion. But more importantly, I need to choose what side it is that I'm on and live in that and own that. Mm-hmm. We kind of spoke on it, but do you recall that moment when it kind of crystallized for you the path that you were going to start walking?
I would say it definitely is December 2021. That was when everything started to click in. I was at my lowest point. Mm-hmm. I was 215 pounds. Mm-hmm. I was out of shape, couldn't breathe properly. I was getting dissed by women a lot. I was just getting dissed in general. And then a girl left me with a comment that stuck to me. I'm not gonna repeat the comment because it's not podcast worthy. But she left me with a comment that made me think about it, and I'm like, shoot, maybe I do need to fix up. And that was when I started my weight loss journey. And then my weight loss journey was the kickstart to everything in my life going right. So it was building up a routine and a regimen for my own brain to realize like enough is enough. I have to start doing better. Otherwise, I'm just going to be in a bad situation for the rest of my life. Like not bad situation as in like physically, but just like mentally. And it's like, when I started realizing that, when I started going to the gym, when I started lifting, I started over at Scadden Court. I got a job over at Scadden Court, just supervising a basketball drop-in program. Wasn't much, but it was enough for me to realize this is my foot back into Scadden Court, or just the community centers alone. Because I worked with Scadden Court back in 2012. For the newcomer camp, whatever that was, I can't remember. It was too long ago. Molson actually brought me in for that.
Shout out to Moji.
Shout out to Moji, man. Then I got the kids basketball program, and then that was my shoe in to doing a lot more work over with scatting. So I was after basketball, I did summer camp. Then summer camp I did after school. Then after school I did the basketball again. Then I did baseball, badminton. I did a lot of like random sports. Yeah. And then they hit me with my full-time gig over there, which is the youth worker role, which I'm grateful for now because everything that I've wanted to do since I was a teenager, I get to do now. I get to bring in youth, teach them about their rights and other lifestyle goals. Like we just had a workshop the other day about gang prevention and exit strategies. It was perfect. It went very well. And the youth there, a majority of them knew me, but they didn't know me on that level because I actually got into detail about who I was, what I went through, what I've done, what I haven't done, what I walked away from, what I couldn't walk away from. And I feel like a majority of the youth that knew me before had a real eye-opener, like, yo, maybe when he says something, we should listen because he's been through a lot. And not only am I unk, I'm at unk age. Yeah, I get it. The kids say it all the time. But I have a lot of knowledge behind it. And going back to starting with the gym, I recently converted over to Islam, and that cleared my mind a lot. So coming off of COVID, 215 pounds, not feeling the best mentally, not looking the best physically, I started trying new stuff. So it was the gym. I tried the gym, fell in love with it, changed my life. Started working more, changed my life. Islam changed my life. All for the best. Every decision I've made after that was for the best. Stopped drinking, picked up smoking in the meantime, but there's that. No longer am I only looking out for myself, but I'm looking out for other people, not only youth, but actual adults around me. I've picked up more responsibility, as in the family role, the youth worker role, and just a lot of other stuff. So to answer your question, after I just yapped for a long time, to answer your question, my point of realization was December 2021.
No, actually, I definitely appreciate getting more in depth with it, because there's a few things to unpack there. And one of the key things that stood out was understanding your why. Like, once your why leads to your purpose, and your purpose will drive everything else. Nowhere in any of that did I hear anything about money. I'm sure money was a part of it. I'm sure money came with a lot of that stuff, but the driving force that pushed that pivot had nothing to do with money. And that's important for me to highlight because in current times and whatnot, like everybody's focused on the bag. And it's like, yeah, but when you get the bag, what are you going to do with it? Because in my opinion, you have to have a solid foundation of who you are, or that bag will corrupt you and take advantage of you.
And it's unfortunate nobody does this stuff for the love of the game no more. It's no longer for the love of the game. I get it. People, we all have bills to pay,
especially in this sector.
Yes, we do. Trust me, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Money plays a big thing, but you got to be able to do stuff for the love of the game to be able to achieve the bag in the long run. You can't just go out and get. I mean, of course, there's other avenues that you could go out and get the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Will you feel good about it?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll have your money.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be able to do stuff for the love of the game and be able to understand that, hey, sometimes I can't get paid for this, but the long-lasting outcome is my payment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I looked at a lot of stuff too. Where it's like when I starting off at scatting, when I was doing the basketball drop-in supervising role,
mm-hmm.
I didn't even want to get paid. I was already there. I was just playing basketball. And then shout out to Labib, but he goes, "Do you want to get paid for this?" I'm like, "You don't have to. I don't mind it. I'm just here chilling." And then I was just coming off a mental thing where it's like I wasn't looking at things where it's like he's offering me a job, but I thought he was coming out of his own pocket, so that's why I was saying no. And then he broke it down. He goes, "I'm not paying you out of my own pocket. I mean, I would, but I'm not gonna do that. We have funding for this program. I'm gonna sign you up as the worker." I'm like, okay, bet.
Yeah.
I still didn't really want to do it because I didn't want to get paid because it felt kind of weird getting paid to play basketball. It's something I've always wanted to do my whole life. Like, yes, make it to the NBA, get paid to play basketball. But in the community, hearing that was like, okay, maybe this job stuff isn't too hard because I talked down on myself for jobs a lot. The only jobs I actually ever had, besides one Subway gig, was all community work, which was at Scatting, AP, and St. Stephen's. And I did some work with TNG over at Finch West Station as well, or Finch West. That went well. But yes, other than that, my job experience is just all community, youth, and senior work, and childcare work, of course.
So again, like there's two things that stood out there. One that you said that's very important is you got to do it for the love of the game. The amount of times, which is part of the reason why I think Moji pulled me back into the community center here, because he's seen the amount of times that I just step up just to help, just for the fact of helping. Like I can see that help was needed. And there's got to be a genuine care. And because in this, you got to put on so many different hats, and it's like, all right, I need you to step in for this program, and can you do this, and can you help out with that? And there's certain people who are like, well, that isn't my job title. My job description doesn't say, yeah, I get it, but this needs to get done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one side of it. The other side of it, it makes me think of this, I don't know if you want to call it challenge or like a reel that I saw where they posed a question, and you've probably seen it or heard it, where they're like something along the lines of, would you rather me give you $1 million today, or would you rather take a penny compounded for 30 days? Right? And the brilliance of that question is 9 times, like I've asked this question to people myself, and even initially I had to ask way more questions to actually get the answer before I answered the question because I knew it was loaded. But most people will take the $1 million. But if you actually do the math of it, that penny adds up to 10 million, right? And when you're telling me that story and you're saying you took the little job doing the basketball thing at first and then it just snowballed, that's what it reminds me of, is the fact that too often we're looking at the end result rather than just saying, all right, let me take this first step and see what happens. Let me do this role and see what happens. And And that's the one thing that I took from that story. There is, again, just because you had your focus right, and it was just like I just want to be able to play basketball because that's a happy place for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that led into actual employment, into actual full-time position at a like the blessing to be working here at AP when I grew up in AP, and I'm seeing peers that I grew up with. I'm seeing my peers' kids. I'm seeing parents, like, and I see that same family connection is there. That's priceless. You can't put a price on that. Which is where I understand you say you're feeling weird saying, I'm going to charge for this. Like, how?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Especially if I think about it and what I really want to charge, y'all can't afford it. So
No,
just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the real, like, as an artist, when I did music, people would ask me how much I want to charge for my CD. And I'm like, I can't tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is my art. This is what I work for. These are my experiences. It's priceless to me. So if you appreciate it, just listening to it is payment enough for me. Paying me attention is payment enough for me. Mm-hmm. If you want to put a dollar amount to it, I'll let you put a dollar amount to it. And you, next time you see me, you give me whatever money you think. Some people gave me $10, some people gave me 50, some people gave but whatever value you put to it, I'll let you do that because I do this for the passion. I do this for the love. And I think anytime that's the driving force, the universe is going to compensate you in the appropriate way that is needed. You know what I mean? So you talk about the programs that you go on. What programs do you actually have going on over there at Scatter?
So right now I have a program called Shoot for Justice, which is I spoke about it a bit earlier. It is a program where we bring in I don't like the term at-risk youth, but just for technical reasons, I have a program where it's at-risk community kids from Alexandra Park or surrounding Alexandra Park, where I bring them in. And then I partnered up with another group that comes in to talk about law, like how to conduct yourself in certain situations when it comes to police, court, just like injustice, whatever the case may be. We speak about all of that. Then we kind of coach them in ways where if they do get stopped by the police, instead of panicking, they know what to say and they know how to move. Because one thing I realized with my generation and other generations was nobody knows how to talk to the cops. We if I were to hear myself say this in 2012, I would be sick. But realistically, we have to like not treat them like how we treat the summer camp kids, but in a way, they're human. We talk to them like they're human. They hopefully talk to us like we're human too. There's gonna obviously just like humans, there's a bad bunch sometimes, and it happens, and we just got to be able to know how to figure out how to deal with it rather than just instantly tweaking. Yeah. Like 2015. My bad. Hold up. My teen years from 12 years old to 17 years old, I had nothing but bad experiences with police. Getting stopped, getting randomly carded, getting searched, getting strip searched in the middle of the street, dehumanizing. And later on in life, realizing it wasn't all cops, it was some cops. And that one division, which was not all of 14, but it was just Tavis. Thank God they're gone.
Yeah.
If the youth had to deal with Tavis today, my job would be so much harder because I would have to explain 10 times more, and I would have to have them in at least 3 times a week so I could keep going over the same stuff. Yeah. But luckily, the policing has gotten better. The community cops around here, once again, if I heard myself say this in 2012, I would probably throw up. Yeah. They're actually good guys. Yeah. All like for the past, I think it was 4 years, we had about, I think it was 8 community cops, maybe something more, like that. Yeah. Maybe more. I just remember 8, and out of the 8, there was only one of them I didn't really connect with on like a conversational basis. We just would like, hey, all the other cops came out of their way to come speak to me, to come talk to me, and then I even had a conversation with a couple of them about the main cop that used to traumatize me. And funny enough, they heard their stories about him, but getting sidetracked. Sorry, I got sidetracked. So essentially, I just have this program to help bring the kids in, to teach them about all of this stuff, and we also throw in some other like lifestyle goals, other lifestyle topics as well. Like the other day, we did resume building. I think next week, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna be doing a digital literacy and online safety course, or not course, workshop. And I have something already planned out for that. And I try to relate everything that I'm doing to the youth justice system. So I try to find ways. So a majority of my work is just me doing the research and me actually coming up with the whole work plan so I could go week by week and get everything, get all the, maximize my information so these kids could, these youth could take all that knowledge and just be able to give it out as well. Because my goal by the end of this program is to create a group of youth that go out to spread the same knowledge that they learned to other community centers and to other like organizations or whatever the case may be. And I mix it in with basketball. Of course, it's not only basketball, but for funding reasons, it is basketball. I feel like including a sport makes people more comfortable because, as you said, basketball for me was my comfort place. I go to basketball. Anything else that's happening outside, whether it's at home, on the street, whatever the case may be, I get on the court. I'm not hearing it. I'm not. That's all out of my ears now. I'm not. It's all out of my brain. I'm not listening. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm only on the court to hoop. I'm gonna talk my ish on the court.
Of course.
And then when we get off the court, it's all love. And then it's back to reality after that. But basketball helps change that reality to where you're not feeling the same like, I'm not gonna say guilt because I don't know what somebody else is going through, but you're not feeling that same I can't think of the word right now, but like that same hurt, I'll say, in a way.
Okay. Yeah.
Going into basketball, then you relieve all that hurt and then you come back out a little bit less hurt.
Yeah.
That is what I'm aiming for in my programs. Just for everybody to get a better understanding of their surroundings, how to deal with stuff, and just feel a little bit less hurt and have like more sense of a community. Because as you know, being a youth worker in this community, we lack youth. A lot of our youth numbers come from the surrounding area. And I don't know what it is with the youth in our community, which is what I'm trying to work on understanding is, did COVID change all of that? Where like they got so used to sitting behind a TV screen, a computer screen, to where the outside life doesn't excite them no more. Technology, they just see technology and be like, that's me right there. Anything outside, if I'm not going to school, the store, whatnot, nobody's gonna see me. That's another understanding that I really want to get down, because we have a lot of great youth. We have a lot of great people in this community, and I want them to be heard, and I want them to be seen. I want the youth to be seen, essentially, because myself as a youth, I felt like I wasn't seen. The only people I was seen by was the cops. And I wasn't even a bad guy like that. I wasn't out here in a way where it's like I should be even triggering the police's mind.
Yeah.
But I was still being triggered by them, getting stopped by them in the middle of the street, getting embarrassed. So the reason why I do this program is because I don't want them to go through that as well. And yeah, so I just got a little bit deep right there, you know.
Yeah, no,
this
good,
is a touchy subject for me, because it's like I went through so much on that end for somebody who wasn't even a crazy bad kid like that, to the point where it's like it could have and it probably should have turned me into probably one of the biggest demons. Like I could have fulfilled that baby gangster role that people that you and other people used to call me.
Yeah.
I could have fulfilled that quote unquote first round draft pick, or that the first round draft pick role that people were giving me back before I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Because I was on a bad streak.
Yeah.
And then luckily for me, I had the right people around. So God rest his soul, there's Bonix. He played a big part in me not becoming who I was supposed to become, or who I was quote
On the road
unquote
to.
yeah. He sat me down one day. He goes, question, why do you think I do what I do? And I looked at him and I'm like, obviously I didn't say it like this, but I'm like, for the love of the game, because back in the days we weren't talking like that.
Yeah.
But essentially I'm like, for the love of the game. He goes, no, I'm doing this so you guys, like your whole group, doesn't have to do this. I don't want you guys to have to pick up a gun and protect the block. We could do that. Go to school, figure it out, do this and do that. And then, God rest his soul, when he passed away, it all clicked in my head, and I'm like, he's only ever asked me for one thing in my whole life, was to be the best person that I could become. And I tried, and I did. I had my setback. Everybody has their setbacks.
Of course.
I had my setbacks. I had my I had my path. Then I ventured off. Then I came back. Then I ventured off that way, and I came back. And it's like, there's no one pathway. You're gonna venture off, but as long as you find your way back, that's all that matters. And with him saying that to me, it stuck with me from then up until now. And I'll always give him those flowers for him being a big part of the reason why for him being the reason why I am who I am today. And obviously a couple other people as well. I'm not gonna name a couple people, but also you as well. Moji, all the community leaders around me played a big part in that too. So like Molson, Herman, there's a couple other people too. I can't think of their names right now, but yeah, there's a lot.
I like to say no name, no blame, just so I don't leave nobody out and don't offend anybody. But exactly. I completely get what you're saying. There's a lot there to unpack. One thing that I do want to say is, as you just highlighted, man, like that's part of the reason why I'm as proud of you as I am, because I saw where you were projected to be. I saw where people were pushing you to be. And as you said, you had every excuse, reason, or whatever to be that, but you pushed beyond that. And that's just downright admirable. Rest in peace to Bonix. And it's funny because like a lot there was a point in time where I disappeared from the hood, and a lot of things happened during that point in time.
Yeah.
One of the thing being the policing that you were talking about. Like I kind of the Tavi stuff started just as I disappeared, and then it disappeared just as I came back around. And I remember one of the first times I came back around was back on the block. I think the first year. Yeah. And I remember I'm chilling there by the undercut there or whatnot. And I remember you pulled up on me. You're like, yo, you don't remember me, right? And it took me a second to click in because I wasn't used to the beard and all of that. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yo, for real. And I was just having moments because people kept coming up to me and like, yo, you remember me? Yo, I remember you, this, that. And I remember one of the things that blew my mind was seeing TPS in the area. And men's had their drinks and men's was chiefing. And I ain't been around in I don't know how long. So I'm on paranoid, like, yo, what's going on? There's pose right there. And I remember you were the people like, yo, don't worry, they ain't on that today, B. They ain't on that today. And then from there I started seeing like, oh, there's actually a relationship between the residents and TPS at this point in time. That was unheard of when I was growing up. But it speaks to the amount of work that has been done over the years on both parts. Because absolutely 14 Division and TPS had a horrible view on the residents here and the community members here and the way that they approach things. But on the flip side, we didn't have much better a view of them or the way that we approach them either, which is kind of what you were referring to with the program and how to deal with them and how to talk to them. Because again, something that I took from that book, The Way of the Superior Man, is tone setting and how responsible you should be and how much power you actually have in setting the tone in interactions, right? I came up at a point in time where it was like you match energy. Somebody hits you with this type of energy, you got to match that, and it's just who's gonna out, you know what I mean? Who's gonna out energy the other person, and it rarely turns out in a positive light. And I've actually become very good at neutralizing situations, just in understanding what tone setting actually is and actually does. And the fact that your program focuses on doing stuff like that is immaculate, because I don't think it's spoken to enough. Like even when you're just talking about the high risk youth, and there's so many labels that go into growing up in an area like this that just taint your thinking on who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to accomplish, and it's at such a detriment to a lot of these youth, right?
It's like they don't realize that being like I didn't realize my whole life growing up being an at-risk youth. I used to hear it and just be like, okay, that's normal. And then I started getting around different people, and then I would tell them like, yeah, I'm labeled as an at-risk youth, and they're like, dude, what the heck? What? What do you mean you're at risk? What are you at risk for? And then I'll explain my area, and then they're like, I don't think we could be around you. I think we have to go our separate ways. And I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I'm like, all because I said I'm an at-risk youth. And then it started to dawn on me, and I'm like, I'm only at risk because of quote unquote the area and how they label the area. You are only so much at risk as you make yourself. And since that one conversation with that one kid in high school, I've always thought about it, and I'm like, I'm not at risk just because they say I'm at risk. I am not an at-risk kid, youth, whatever. I am very much so more than that. I wasn't at risk for drugs. I wasn't at risk for gang. I was already all past that. So my at-risk point was no longer at risk. It's behind me. And then I started thinking about it, and then I didn't even know if it made sense at the time, but it made sense to me, so that's all that mattered. So I stopped calling myself at-risk youth, and I started just calling myself youth, just a regular kid. I'm no different than you. You just live in a better area. We all bleed the same. We all eat the same. You may not struggle to get a meal. I may, but that doesn't mean I'm at risk. Once again, I don't know if it made sense at the time, but it was something that was in my head, and I just kept going on about it. And then I started to believe it.
Well, two things. The most important thing that you said out of that little soliloquy for me was the fact that it made sense to you, and that's what mattered, because that is what it is. This world is a you versus you thing.
Yeah.
And the at-risk part is, to me, now means you're at risk of falling victim to everything that they label you with.
Exactly.
Right? One of the things that in growing up here that I've actually taken pride in is how prepared for the world it actually made me. Right? Because I'll have talks with certain peers or whatnot and talk about things that I experienced, and they're like, say what? You did? Hold on, you saw that? Hold on, you went through that? Hold on, I couldn't imagine. And it's just like, oh, got you. I've experienced a lot more than, oh, okay, that's why my insight is what it is. And you know, just, I don't want to speak, I can't speak for any other community, but just being in this community and being like, all right, growing up, one of my best friends was Polish, I believe. And then the next one was like half Italian and Chinese. And then I had a Portuguese friend up the block, and I had some Jamaican dudes up down the thing, and some Scotian cats up. with all these different ethnic backgrounds and makeups, it introduced me to a lot more culture. It introduced me to a lot more experiences, dialects, language, and whatnot. So when I go and I travel out to Jamaica or I travel out to St. Vincent, they're looking at me bugging like, yo, you from here? And I'm like, nah. I'm thinking, yo, but you go on like a, it's because I grew up around folks that was like that. You know what I mean? So I feel like the at-risk stuff is one of them subliminal labels they put out there to keep. It's a whole different dive, but
It is.
the system is what it is for a reason, right? And they label things the way they do for a reason. And I think labeling communities like this at risk is for a specific reason. And the hard part of our job is having a lot of these youth coming up in these systems disconnect from that belief and actually understand that I have way more say so in what my future is going to be than is projected. Like even in going back and thinking myself, it was weird because at one point in time I was in a gifted program, but I didn't like it because none of my friends were in the program and nobody that looked like me was in the program. And I had to go to a completely different area. And it was another opportunity where expectations were placed on me that weren't my own. Right? And we were just talking about, or mentioned earlier in talk, I can't remember if it was during the pod or before the pod, we were talking about kids and dealing with kids and just allowing them to be them and not tainting them with your traumas and whatnot. Right? I felt like for me, it happened in both directions. There was labels that I was an at-risk youth and I was from this area, so I wouldn't be anything. Or if I was going to be something, I needed to be this because this is what success looked like, even though it had nothing to do with any of my interests or whatnot. Like, I love sports like anybody else, but wasn't really allowed to take part in sports because sports was looked at as non-academic and not serious. Right? So being able to be a youth and believe that you can do whatever just builds confidence, and that confidence will allow you to walk your path and not get distracted by stuff. You know what I mean? Like with you, because there's a lot of people who have those aha moments where they're like, you know what, I feel like I'm overweight. I need to hit the gym. I need to do da-da-da-da-da, and they do it for like a week and then they fall off. How do you develop, and I'm assuming it's a daily process because it's not I don't think discipline is an on-off switch where you turn it on one day and you just got it. Right? It's something that you got to constantly check in on. What is it that keeps you on that discipline path and keeps you motivated to keep hitting the gym on a regular basis, sticking with Islam on the regular basis, making the 1 and 2 incremental steps on a regular basis and not get discouraged by, because as you said, like there's setbacks always. Not get discouraged by that setback and keep pushing through. What is it that drives that, or what is it that click for that?
You just got to treat every day as if it's day one. Once you treat every day as if it's day one, you never lose that drive to want to get better. Comfortability is your biggest enemy at the moment. If you get comfortable, you start to get lazy. You don't want to get lazy in the gym, because if you get lazy in the gym, you get injured. I got lazy in the gym and I got injured. I almost paralyzed myself. I came back even stronger, more focused, more of a goal. My goal at the time, first starting off, was lose weight, look good for other people. Slowly, as I was getting to that goal, I started thinking, why do I care about what people, like, why? So it started going from, I'm gonna get this 6-pack to not only look good for other people, but to look good for myself. Because you know how it is walking through your crib sometimes. You catch a reflection of yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, okay, I see it. I see. Like, there's been times where I've caught myself looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, why the fuck? Sorry, excuse my language. Why do I even go to the gym? Why do I? Where's the progress? And then that's when I started realizing you just got to treat every day as if it's day one. You'll never lose that drive, and you just got to keep going. You just got to do it. There's nothing stopping you from going to the gym other than a work schedule or obviously health complications. There's obviously real stuff that stops you, but if there's not, you just got to beat your own laziness and go.
I know for me personally, I ain't been in the gym in a while, but I try to stay active.
Yes.
Whether it's like for me, basketball's always been a haven for me as well. I have zero problems pulling up at a court somewhere and just shooting around by myself. That's part of where COVID was an absolute blessing. Like
every court empty.
I got a whole court to myself that I could stay at for like 3 hours and just, let me just work on my left hand today. I'm gonna work on nothing but left hand crosses today. You know what I mean? And that not only gave me the space, but it's helped me understand what falling in love with the process is really about. Right? And speaking things into existence, I always say, like, I have this saying where anything that you want to be, you can be, but how willing are you to work at getting better at it? Right? So if today I decide, you know what, I'm going to be a painter. Shoot, I get my painting supplies, I start painting and whatnot. By profession, I am a painter, but I'm not a good one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You only develop those skills by practice and by putting those hours in. And I think going back to what I was talking about with the bag and society and whatnot, so many people are focused on what they think success looks like that they don't actually see the steps that were involved in that. Like somebody might look at somebody like Jay-Z, for example.
Yeah.
Right? And say, oh, he's a billionaire. Hove, I want to do it, da-da-da-da-da-da. But like, are you willing to, all the decisions that he had to make, all of the friendships he had to lose, all of the risks are you willing to take those same risks? Right? Myself, as somebody who rapped and was in entertainment, I came to terms at a long time ago that I don't exactly like that lifestyle. I like my privacy. I like being a regular person. I don't like celebrity in the way that celebrities are viewed. So that isn't for me. But along with that, it also let go of the idea of I don't really exactly want to be a billionaire. I want to be comfortable. I want to be happy. But is there a dollar amount attached to that? I don't know. I don't personally think so. And with that, it just came focusing on doing the things that actually makes me happy and working harder at getting better at those things. Right? So, like I said, with basketball, I enjoy basketball. Let me get better at using my left hand so I can be more ambidextrous. And you know what? I'm getting older. I can feel my body breaking down. Let me start doing things to... Gym isn't really feasible for me because of my work hours. I can still get down and do 10 push-ups and some burpees and stuff.
Yes.
I can find a park somewhere to do something. And I got into that habit. And to make it easier for myself, I was like, you know what? My schedule's too all over the place. I can't say Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. But I can say, you know what? Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, I have an hour. I'm going to do this on those days. Every other day that I have a chance, you know what? I live in a building that's 8 stories. I'm not using the elevator. I'm using the stairs. And I'm only going to use the stairs just so I give myself some type of... And I think that for me, that's what works. And I think people need to just find their way of working and cut off the other important thing that you said is don't do it for anybody else, but find the reason within you why you feel you want to do it and focus on that. And I think that makes the discipline of it a lot easier. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure. I see that.
How we doing for time here? Hold on, because I know you gotta...
I think we're good on time.
I remember a while back, I was talking with... This is kind of sticking with the same role model topic or whatnot. And I was talking with, you know him, but no name, no blame. I was talking with a certain one of my younger guys. It's weird saying that to me because damn near everybody's a younger guy to me now, except for like Moji and them who are my OGs and things. But a younger guy, we were talking here, and he was talking about another younger guy. Because I was like, yeah, I just saw him walking around, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, why ain't you at school? Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I woke up late and whatnot. And you know, he went on to say, yeah, you know, I saw him the other day and I'm telling him, why ain't you at school or whatnot? And I'm like, you know what? I do appreciate the idea of what you're saying, but I wouldn't be honest if I didn't call out somewhat of the hypocrisy in it. I go, because I'm here because this is part of my employment now. You know what I mean? Like, due to the history that I had in the area, there was a point in time I had to stay away from the area because it just was not doing well for me. Like, it was not going to end well for me being around.
Well, of course.
In coming back, I made sure that I have a reason that I'm coming back. Like, I'm not just coming to hang out. I'm not just coming to chill out. And even when I first started, I kind of fell back into that a little bit and hanging out and wanted to chill out with the men's and this, that, and the third. And I had to catch myself. A certain scenario happened and I was like, yo, that could have gone so far left if I didn't have my wits about me in a certain way. So I was like, you know what? I'm here and I'm telling homeboy he should be in school. I go, but I'm at somewhere where I'm supposed to be. You're telling him that, and I can't help but think in his mind, he's like, well, where are you supposed to be at right now? You're not at school. You're not working. You're just hanging out here and getting buzzed up at 11 a.m. You know what I mean? Like, I would be hard pressed to be telling any of these youth, and it was part of the things back in the days where I was on that left side of the tracks and I was always looking at the right. Cause it was like, how am I going to be here telling these young bucks to stay away from this and whatnot, and I'm fully out here, right? Shout out to you for shout out to Bonix and shout out to you also for having the perspective of saying, you know what? He's right. Because I'd say it to you, man, don't be out here, man. This ain't for it, whatever. And I'd say all of that. Not to get into it, but I even remember having that, rest in peace, Jay Hood. I remember having a conversation with him about it because I was like, he was such a brilliant young buck and I didn't feel he was meeting his full potential, but we disagreed on that. And it was that was one of a few different moments where I was like, man, I got to do better because regardless of what I'm saying to these youth, if they're not seeing me do better, it doesn't make a difference. Right? And with the same dude that I was talking to and I was talking about it, I'm like, cause he's like, you know what? He's like, you're right, man. They don't really have people to see out here. And I'm like, yeah, but what about you? Why can't you be that person? You say somebody like me, I'm not different from you. It's just when that decision has to be made, I'm making the hard decision and say, you know what? Like when I stopped doing my trapping fully and whatnot, like that was a pill to swallow because people were used to, yo, like I remember a dude seeing me, he's like, yo, what are you doing on the bus, bro? You don't take TTC, bro. You're always driving the thing. What happened? Don't tell me you fell off. Those words haunt me or haunted me. I don't care now, but those words haunted me. And those are the things that kind of make, you know what, man, I need to get back out there. You know what, I need to get back out there. And I had to get to a point where I didn't care about any of that anymore. And it was just more about, I got to be the change that I'm asking for. Because his point was right. Who is out here doing that? Nobody wants to be a role model. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of weight. But it's very required.
Sorry, just to touch on that just a bit. Yeah. That kind of goes back to what you were saying. You'll be a role model regardless, as if it's good or bad. So you just gotta accept it. I just want to say that to add on to that part.
And like, I remember there was one day up top. I'll never forget this day. And I'm not, again, no name, no blame. I remember one of the young boys, and I still see him around every so often. And I remember standing there at the top of the walk, at the top of the ramp there. Not the top of the walk, top of the ramp on the backside there. And looking down Augusta Street. And I remember seeing like maybe about 20 young bucks all on bikes walking or whatnot, and they all had on red tees, this, that, whatnot. And homeboy looked at me, he's like, yo, I want to remember exactly what he said. He's like, yo, it's like, you see all that red down there? Yo, my niggas is deep. And I just remember in my head instantly in that moment being like, shit, I'm fucking up. Cause I'm like, that's what he thinks is cool right now. And not only does he think that's cool, he thinks I'm gonna think he's cool for highlighting that. Nah, I'm not a good OG right now. I'm not being a good OG. That was one of those moments for me. You know what I mean? And there were a lot of different moments where the sock pull up had to happen. Like different people pulled up my socks or somebody said something and I was like, damn. For the folk, like, and I know there's folks that are gonna watch this and listen to this, and you're probably going through those moments yourself. What would you advise folks in those moments? You know what I mean?
You just gotta want better. I can't speak to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I just could speak to a couple, hopefully more than a couple people, whoever is out there listening. You just gotta take a deep look at yourself and be like, is this what I want people to see?
Mm-hmm.
Is this who I am? Is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
Mm-hmm.
You can't care if certain stuff is cool or you just can't care about what your peers are gonna think who are in that same situation as you. You just gotta walk away from majority of it and just find something, find God, find the gym, just find something else that's not gonna put your life in jeopardy, or find something else to where you could be a better leader to the youth around you, because as you said, there's always somebody watching. You just gotta want to be better for that person, for that one person watching. Not because you want to look good in their eyes, but you want them to be better when they start to take their path.
No, that makes all the sense in the world. Getting a little bit deeper in my therapy mode. Because I always have that saying to always work like somebody's watching, because somebody always is.
Yeah.
The deeper side of that for me is the person that's always watching is that inner child.
Yeah.
Right. In doing the therapy and whatnot, they always talk about healing that inner child. And that inner child is the one that faces drama, the drama, and has you stuck at that point in time because they felt let down, they felt unheard, they felt unseen, they felt violated, whatever the case may be. And I live right now to make sure that child is always proud of the adult that I am. You know what I mean? Like, if I got kids now, but if having a kid and having a son, would I want my son to be exactly like me and do exactly what I did? If I had a daughter, would I want my daughter to marry me? Like if she walked in the house with a dude that was exactly like me, would I be jumping for joy saying, yeah, he's the right one? Or would I have if I have my apprehensions, then that means I need to fix up something within myself. Right? That's the person that I feel is always watching. That's the person that when you're looking in the mirror is looking back at you and saying, great job, or saying, bro, fix up. You know what I mean? I think like I'm kind of all over the place with this because I get kind of on this hamster wheel with this thought because I know there's a lot at play. Right now I'm at this debate point with entertainment and media. Right? I've grown up a hip hop fan my entire life. I've always loved hip hop. I've always loved R&B and whatnot. But in getting older and starting to understand the business of it and how much of it is actually manipulated, I'm very guarded with what I allow myself to listen to and myself to watch and entertain myself with.
Mm-hmm.
What is your relationship like with entertainment and music and shows and whatnot and its influence?
I mean, for me personally, music, it'll always be a big influence on how my day's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Because the song I start my day off to is the energy that I'm putting out instantly. So when I wake up, instead of doom scrolling for like 10-15 minutes before fully waking up, I turn on a David Goggins like motivational video,
Mm-hmm.
and then the ambience music in the back to that is what sets off my day.
Mm-hmm.
And listening to some of the quotes that he says, some of the stuff that he just says, or not even just mainly him, I just used him as a prime example,
Mm-hmm.
but listening to some of the stuff that people say gets me going in a good way
Mm-hmm.
to start off my day. And instead of waking up to listen to trap, to listen to this, listen to audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit there and listen to an audiobook while I'm getting ready for work, while I'm doing this, while I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's also good for you to be able to still listen to that type of music
Mm-hmm.
and not let it influence you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say I don't listen to trap, because I listen to trap a lot, but I listen to a lot of other stuff alongside it too. As of recently, it's been like country music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but
The new rap.
it's getting me. Like, it's getting me. That I'd be listening to my old school songs,
Mm-hmm.
growing up in a household, a Scotian type household. My mom's not Scotian, but my dad is.
Mm-hmm.
My dad didn't live in the house, but
The influence is
Scotian
still
community, the influence was there. So growing up to Scotian songs, and then my neighbors being Jamaican, growing up on Jamaican songs, it's like
there. Mm-hmm.
I noticed from young how music could play a big part in your day.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't happen until recently that I stopped starting my day off with trap music or just bad music in general.
Mm-hmm.
Or just even bad videos. Like sometimes I'd wake up, turn on my TV, straight to YouTube, watch Dexter. Like what?
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'll watch a motivational video, try to read a couple pages of a book if I have time before I leave, and then I'll go watch Dexter.
Yeah. No, you gotta balance it out.
There has to be some type of healthy balance.
Absolutely.
But to answer your question, I try not to let all that stuff have a big influence on me.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, it does. So you got to be mindful of what you're watching and what you're listening to and how often you're listening and watching this stuff.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I actually go a little bit further because the key word you said was energy.
Yeah.
And I believe the things you listen to, you watch definitely set an energy.
Yeah.
The only way where I differ is I don't think. So I've grown up on hip hop my entire life. So the trap stuff and whatnot, I used to listen to it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But I've also come to a point for myself where I realize like words have way more power than we give them, and way more weight than we actually provide them.
The power of the tongue is a real thing.
You know what I'm saying? And as innocent as it seems just listening to that, I had to catch myself like, yo, those lyrics are actually trained to memory.
Mm-hmm.
And in somebody who believes in mantras and the secret, as they call it, or speaking things into existence,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm subconsciously or unconsciously just singing along with these rap lyrics, what am I actually chanting into my life? What type of energy am I chanting? And in paying attention to that, I started listening to less and less. And now I actually listen to more what I call mantra music than anything else. And funny story, like there was a YouTube show, Respect Life.
I remember that.
Right? That was a big realization for me because it was a YouTube series or whatnot. I worked like crazy, so I couldn't keep up with it on a weekly basis, but I'd binge watch. And I remember my peoples had a shop on by Queen and Sherburne. And I'd lock up every so often or whatnot. And I remember after binge watching a few episodes one time, I'm locking up, and it's locking up through the back door, and there's a laneway there or whatnot. And I remember being there, and somebody walked by, and like I got kind of annoyed, and I was looking, and I just remember catching myself, and I was like, "Yo, what are you paranoid about right now?" But what it was, I'd been binge watching so many of these episodes of this show, I started thinking like characters in the show, like, yo, what if things sliding in? What if da-da-da-da-da? And that was a realization. You're like, oh, you got to be careful of the content that you're actually taking in. And then the other realization for me was in making music and what life was like before I started making records, what life was like after I put my first CD out, after my second CD out, when I took a break, and then I came back and put out more music, and what the response to that was and how things started. And I was like, oh, yeah, your words really do have power. And the things that you do speak do come to life and come to reality. So with that, I'm much more guarded with what I actually listen to and take in on a regular basis, whether it's music, whether it's TV shows, whether it's all of that. Like, I can't help but go back and say, you know what? Idolizing Scarface and Menace to Society and Juice and all these movies probably had something to do with the choices I was making when I was running around here, right? I
mean, to add on to that, yeah, for sure. Because I grew up watching like movies where like Cameron and those guys in it, and it's like we're not noticing how much of an effect it takes or it gives on you. But I started realizing when there's this one scene from a Cameron movie. I can't remember the movie name off the top of my head, but he got coached by his plug, essentially, and then he came back to coach his homies. Then he goes, so he has a bag of weed and a bag of coke, and he goes, "This is a Hyundai. This is a Ferrari. Which one do you want?" And then his homeboy goes, "I want the Ferrari." Then he goes, "You idiot. It's a Ferrari." But it's like, it was just dawning on me where it's like, I was quoting that line a lot, not even realizing what the hell it really meant. And it started to play a part, and then I started to realize, like, yo, there's people out here walking around with Ferraris. And I'm like, I'm like, maybe I do want a Ferrari. I didn't settle for the Honda either. I settled with Ankle Express. I walked away from it. They gave me an option for Ankle Express, and I took it. I love walking. I love getting my steps in. I don't need a Ferrari. I don't need a Hyundai. That's the junk talk.
Yeah. No, but you know what's dope about that story? And I'm that guy. I find metaphor in everything. Right? The devil, the evil side, whatever you want to look at it, they have amazing ways of tempting you.
Yeah.
And without saying anything, but with saying something, it's almost like you're tempting the person to take the worst choice.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Incentivizing, like, do you want who doesn't want a Ferrari? Everybody wants a Ferrari.
Wants a Ferrari.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and to the same example where I was like, who doesn't want $1 million? Nobody. Like, I asked somebody, like, pennies, what am I going to have it? $10 at the end of the month? I'm like, you ain't even try to do the math, but which are you choosing? You chose $1 million. But if you actually do the math and if you actually take the time to do the work and do the math, you'll realize, the penny compounded is better. I'm probably better off using my 2 feet in a heartbeat rather than trying to rush into this Ferrari.
Exactly.
Right? But a big part of that is not understanding your own self-value, which I don't know how that isn't a subject in school. Like, how to love yourself.
They don't teach that.
They don't. No, like it's not something that's taught, and it's unfortunately not something enough people understand or know. And this isn't just kids, this is adult, this is elderly, this is like loving yourself will improve so many circumstances. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And I don't even know how to articulate it. It's just something that I know and I understand.
It took me a while to finally love myself.
It normally does, because if we're being real, like there's nothing in society that trains you for that. Not even school, kindergarten, none of that. It doesn't. It trains you to look outside of yourself for the approval. You know what I mean? Whether it's you did good on this test or whether it's like a lot of these youth when they're getting ready for high school, I'm like, what's more important for me that you understand is when you're going to school, don't go to school to get good grades. Go to school to understand the subject. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is. If it's math, understand math. I don't care whether you get an A or a D or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Do you understand the process of what it is that you're doing? And in understanding it, do you have a passion for it? You do? Perfect. Keep pushing that. You don't? At least you tried it. Pivot to something else. But go for that understanding, not for the approval. And I think that's where that mentality develops, where you don't actually love yourself, because it's so much equated to, oh yeah, I'm a dumbass because I only get C's. It just might be the way that those actual teachers are instructing you that you're not getting it. Or maybe you're not really meant to be in that aspect. Maybe you're meant to be a plumber. Plumbers are actually very, very important people to society.
Very.
Very, like the trades industry is very, very underrated and not spoken enough highly.
Like, I respect all the trade workers, man. These guys put the work in and they get compensated good money for it too. So anybody who's listening to this who wants to go into trades, look into it for real. There's really good money in it.
There's definitely good money in it, but more importantly, like I said, in going back to painting, yeah. I personally detest it. I don't like painting. So to say I'm going to put the time in to actually get really good at it mm-hmm. is not realistic for me. Mm-hmm. But I know some people who absolutely love it, and it's their career, and they make decent money doing it, mm-hmm. and they're just happy and fulfilled. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think that, like, there's so many that stems from actually knowing who you are and loving yourself and being confident enough to be yourself. Mm-hmm. You said something earlier about being cool. One thing that I've also come to terms with is one person's cool is somebody else's ick. You know what I mean? There were things at a point in time that I thought was cool that now I look back at and I'm like, man, that was so stupid. That was so lame. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's certain things that I think is lame and somebody else is like, man, that is cool as, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So you gotta, I just feel it's very important that you, somehow in society, we need to pivot the curriculum into some self-love courses or something like that.
Like a healthy relationships type thing.
Yeah.
Like healthy relationships with like other people, family, yourself. We're not taught enough on how to actually love ourselves because you can't teach it. It's something you have to figure out yourself. But learning about it as a kid would probably make it slightly easier for you.
Absolutely.
Slightly.
Self-love is... And I mean, if you don't know how to love yourself, you ain't going to know how to love anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing.
Learn that the hard way.
It's the same thing with respect. It's the same thing with like, you have to start with yourself first, which is where that saying, treat others like you'd want to be treated. Mm-hmm. It's along that same mentality. Like, it's the same reason why I carry myself in the way that I do. Like, with these kids, I'm going to respect you. Mm-hmm. If you get disrespectful, I'm not going to disrespect you mm-hmm. because I respect myself too much to become a disrespectful individual. I won't allow myself to be disrespectful.
No, of
but
course.
what I will do is page the fact that you're being disrespectful and not let it slide. I'm going to call attention like, yo, that's not respectful. And like, I deal with you with respect, no? If I disrespected you in any, please let me know and I'll correct that. But as long as I've been treating you with respect, I expect the same.
Yeah, of course.
And that's come from years of building love for myself. And in building love for myself, I've held a certain standard for myself. And in holding a certain standard for myself, it allows me to hold other people to a similar standard. Or we just don't have to cohabitate in any aspect.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Life is a beautiful thing, man. And I think it's meant to be appreciated way more than it gets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
How we doing for time here? I know you gotta get going, so I ain't really gonna hold you. You gotta get to your real gig
1:30?
over at 1:30.
I mean, I still got some more time if you still got some more stuff to go over.
I mean, for the most part, so the beautiful thing about this podcast is it's literally meant for this, is just to have conversation.
Yeah.
Because way too often I'll have dope conversations and we'll speak about some incredible things, but then once we leave those doors, that's it. Right? So hopefully with this, I don't care if one person watches it, if 50 people or 1,000 people watch it. At least the message is out there. And I also feel it's very important that the message come from what is considered regular people. Right? I think I can't help but think of that Dave Chappelle comedy where he's like, what's Ja Rule think? Who gives a damn about what Ja Rule think? Like, we look to celebrities so much for information, for answers. Like, even me, Nipsey Hussle said The Way of the Superior Man. Now all of a sudden I'm keen to pick up that book and read it. And I might have heard about that book from time. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel it's important that we have a platform where the regular people can talk and allow their ideas to reverberate out there. You know what I mean? And just grow from there. I'm so philosophical at times, man. Like,
bro, I appreciate it for real. Because the philosophical moments are the ones that I mean, a lot of what you say sticks with me, but the philosophical moments is the ones I really remember because it's the deep talks that real information comes out in.
Absolutely. And I pride myself on being somebody who isn't afraid to have those conversations. I definitely I'm not afraid of being vulnerable at this point in time, where like I've been clowned, I've been at the bottom, so I'm good with whatever. There's nobody who's gonna say anything to me that's gonna knock me off kilter. And I think that's important so that I can have the ability to speak openly and honestly about something without worrying about my ego or I can't like. One statement that I caught myself saying and I hear people say all the time is, yo, I can't have people looking at me like that. I can't have people talking about me like that. Like, I could care less.
You see, I think the same way, but the only exception I make for that is I say it like this, I can't have people's parents looking at me like that. Because as much as I don't want to be judged, if I know I'm going to be judged regardless, but I think it's the parents that I really just want to look good for because they've seen me grow up. So they know the kid I was. They know the man I am today. I just want to look good in their eyes so they would feel comfortable sending their children or having their children send their children to me for my programs. And I genuinely don't care how I look to people because I already know people are going to have a certain way of looking at things. Like, as you said, you're going to look good in somebody's eyes. You're going to look bad in somebody's eyes. Regardless, as long as I know I look good in my own eyes and I know I'm doing good and I think that I'm doing good and there's good outcomes, which there has been already, then I already know I'm doing good. I don't care who sees it. As long as parents see it, though. That's just me. As long as
Yeah.
parents see it, they'll feel comfortable with me being around their kids, with me being able to supply like trips, programs, parties and whatnot for the kids, because a lot of my work I do is for the youth and for the kids,
Yeah.
and obviously for myself,
Yeah.
because I do it for the love of the game. So I get paid well enough, but it's not about the money. It's knowing that I'm making an impact on the youth in a good way is already enough currency for me to where they could be paying me $5. I could be doing volunteer work. As long as I'm making a good impact, I don't care about, I generally don't care about the money.
I mean, and I concur and I agree with that completely, because I remember talking with the same dude who had the shop or whatnot. I remember we were talking one day, and he kind of like pointed it out to me where it crystallized for me. He was like, man, you worrying about money and whatnot. When you really think about it, was there ever a point in time where you needed something and you couldn't find the money for it? And I really, really thought about it, like in thinking about needs versus wants. The stuff that I needed, no, I definitely got the money for it when I needed it. Like, and randomly, like, I gotta move and I need about $1,500. Where am I getting $1,500 back? Okay, I'm not going to the block. I don't know, something gotta work. Yo, what's going on? Yo, also, somebody just bailed on this gig and you available for the next 4 days, and it's gonna pay about $1,800. Not only am I getting the $1,500, I got an extra $300 on top of that. Bet, and it's right at the time that I need. And it just seems like the universe has always worked like that for me. And that's one of those things that helped me keep the main thing. Because it was like, all right, as long as that is, like, stuff will shift and work itself out to make itself work. You know what I mean? While I was talking, there was something else that I thought of. Kind of related, kind of random. I remember I say years ago now, this is like what, 22? Around 21, 22, going through like I guess they call it midlife crisis type thing or whatnot, but you know, coming off the tail end of COVID, I'm getting back into the work thing a little bit, and I'm figuring out my path. And I remember I went to check a friend of mine, he played a record for me, and he had the sample of Bruce Lee talk about be like water. I remember it was one night, I'm chilling, I'm out by the water, I'm doing my boo-hoos and stuff because I'm in a bad state and whatnot. And I'm thinking about be like water, and I'm there by the lake, and I'm looking at the water. I'm like, what is it to be like water? Like, what type of water? Are we talking lake water? Are we talking rainwater? Are we talking ocean water, salt water? Like, what type of water? And then that had me think about, well, as a person, I'm here and I'm like, well, I'm me, and Trevor's Trevor and thing, and he don't live like me, and his life ain't like mine, and I don't live like him. Does the sea look at the ocean and say, I'm better than you? Does the river be like, man, why can't I be like one of them ocean waves out there riding, man? Or what really tripped me out was when I'm sitting there and I'm seeing the water splash up and hit the rocks, and I'm like, so does that water that splashed out start bitching and be like, yo, man, like, y'all just kicked me out the club now. Now I'm going to be here on the rock and dry out and go into what is the osmosis, or you know what I mean? And evaporate back into the, like, is there any complaining about that? Or is the water and just do its thing and be part of this existence? And then for me, that put a lot of perspective where it's like, what am I crying about? What am I thinking? Like, this life is not promised to me. Like, I think I saw a stat where it's like I want to say every second, but I'm going to say every minute, somebody somewhere in the world is losing their life. And I've been here for 40 plus years doing my thing, and I'm complaining about what? What exactly? ain't nothing promised. I ain't promised next week. I ain't promised next year. I ain't promised nothing. But one thing I do have is this experience, whatever it is, good, bad, or third, or indifferent. Sorry. And another saying that I love is shit doesn't happen to you. Shit just happens, and you happen to experience it. And from that lens, I don't have bad days. It's just like, dang, that happened. I saw that was messed up. Okay, I ain't gonna do that again. You know what I mean? Or you know what? I had a really good time doing that. Let me try that more often. Matter of fact, let me tell more people about it. And all of that was derived from be like water. And just having that thought and looking at nature and being like, yo, ain't no trees complaining that evergreens ain't complaining they ain't weeping willows and you know what I mean? I don't know what part of human consciousness is going to fix that or how to fix that for everybody, but I think like it's an important thing for folks to acknowledge, like enjoy this experience, man. Like way too often get at funerals and be like, we need to get together more often. I love you. I appreciate you. Why is it just at the funeral? Why is it when somebody loses their life, all of a sudden we want to have appreciation for it? But then the week before, can't stand that.
Yeah.
This just pissed me off and I don't want to talk to this person again.
Yeah.
And they pass like, oh my gosh, can't believe we had an argument the last time around we talked and this is dead. You know, I don't know. That's just my random 2 cents.
Oh, it's a good 2 cents.
Complete pivot. How you feeling about them Raptors this year, man?
I haven't watched a single game. I don't know how we doing.
I'll be honest with you. I don't really. So, all right. When it comes to basketball in particular for me, it's really weird with the Raptors because we didn't have a team for so long. Like 95, I think, was the initial year we got a team. So I'm like 14 years old at the time. Yeah, I'm dating myself. So I'm like 14 years old at the time. You know what I'm saying? I always chose teams by the players that's on the team.
Yeah.
Right? If you've got if I believe in this player, I'm gonna rock with this team. Raptors haven't really had that. Shout out to Scotty Barnes. I think he's an amazing player. I just don't see him as the franchise guy. I see him as this franchise supporter.
Yeah.
Amazing defender, definitely all-star worthy. But to be that dude to lead a franchise to a championship and through the playoffs, either that or they have to balance him out with somebody who's a legit bucket getter no matter what. Like, I don't care if you put Wemby on him. He's getting a bucket.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've had that guy outside of when we had Kawhi and we won the chip.
No, we have not.
Right? So, yeah, to second your point, I don't watch too much Raptors basketball myself.
Yeah, we already know watching them Laker games, though.
Actually, in fairness, I've in the last couple of years I've watched way more OKC games than I have anything else. Last year I did watch a lot of Lakers as well.
Wonder why.
I am a LeBron fan. Which definitely made it hard for me to be from Toronto those years going and because I get chirped. But it's like, man, and I was super pissed off that he went to the Lakers when we got Kawhi because I was like, okay, this is the year I can finally say the Raptors are going to own these guys because Kawhi can lock this dude up. And then he went to LA and that panned out how it panned out. And for the record, when they went up against the Clippers, they actually, anyways, we won't go there. But I am a LeBron fan.
Yeah,
I am. So and speaking of, I have a player that I support. So Cleveland for a while, then it was Miami, then it was Cleveland, then it was LA.
Yeah.
I can admit that.
Yeah.
Right? I can admit that. But last year so I'm pretty good at calling who's going to win at the end of the season. I'm pretty good at doing that. Because last year I did call for OKC and they did it. Because they got Hartenstein over there, they got Cruz over there, and I'm like, that's what they needed. They needed defense, they needed a rim protector. They got that, and they ended up getting the chip. And since that was my prediction, that's why I watched a lot more OKC last year. And this year I'm watching OKC because I'm rooting for the guy Shea, even though he gets hated on as a foul. He gets hated on as a foul merchant. I'm like, there's a foul merchant every season, every year that the NBA has ever been existing. Like it's part of the role.
I'm just happy it's not Joel Embiid no more.
Joel Embiid, man, damn. There was a point in time I thought he was poised to be the best player in the league. There was a point in time I thought that. I don't know what to call it. Injuries played its part, but I think there's a mentality issue there as well that kind of haunts him. Ain't mad we sent him home in the playoffs to get the championship though, but
we sent home that Philadelphia team, man. Oh my God.
They were good. The only person on that team I feel bad for is Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler is one of my favorite players in the league.
I felt bad for Tobias Harris at the time too, because Tobias Harris was putting in that work.
I don't like Tobias Harris.
I don't like him either, but that 1 year he was putting in that work though. He was putting in the work, and he was guarding Siakam.
Yeah.
He was playing Siakam pretty damn well, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah.
But F Tobias Harris.
Yeah, I've never been sorry, bro. I can't say it's anything personal because I don't know you from a can of paint. But from watching basketball on a fan standpoint, I am not a Tobias Harris fan, and never have been, and I don't think I ever will be. I think he's over in Detroit right now. Detroit's balling right now, but
yeah, Detroit. Cade and them boys.
Yeah, Cade Cunningham is nice.
Cade is nice.
He's nice. I was late to the party with him, but towards the end of last season, I started catching wind of what he was doing. I'm like, all right. Any takes or picks for the chip this year?
Yeah.
You think they're gonna do a back-to-back thing? Or you think it's gonna be a new champ?
New champ coming east.
From the east.
From the east. It's gonna shock a lot of people when Cleveland wins it.
Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta disagree with you on that.
It's gonna shock. I'm telling you, it's gonna shock some people when it's OKC. No, not OKC. My bad. When it's Denver and Cleveland in the finals.
So Denver, I can hear.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear the Denver predictions because they revamped their roster and they got some excellent additions.
Mm-hmm.
And they played OKC tough
mm-hmm.
that last playoff, so I could see that. Cleveland, I don't believe in them.
I'm telling you, bro.
So I have this thing where your best player can't be a liability.
Donovan Mitchell is a liability where?
On the defensive end.
No.
Donovan
Mitchell plays defense.
I'm not talking about an effort, but I feel like he is somebody that in the fourth quarter, if they start keying on him,
mm-hmm.
he might end up unplayable because he loses that matchup. That is my opinion. I know he's rated as a bucket getter. I've seen him struggle certain games and whatnot, but he's one of those. If he is not scoring 50, I don't see him being a stopper on the other end to neutralize it. That's my issue, and that's my issue with Cleveland.
But that's why they got boys over there like Lonzo, DeAndre Hunter.
Lonzo is definitely a big. Lonzo's a big asset for them, especially on the defensive end and whatnot. I don't know. Seeing is believing. I just.
They also got Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen.
They've been there the last 3 seasons. I'm just saying.
They have been, but this season they're starting to look a little bit. They're on that, man. And the East is wide open. They make it to the finals. I feel like they have enough juice to get that chip.
I'll be wrong if I'm wrong. I just don't see it.
That's fair.
I just don't see it.
What about you? You're going back to back?
I like OKC. I like the way they're playing. Denver is the one team that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Houston should, but they don't. like I don't know what it is, but there's something about Houston. I'm just not.
I could see them Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, there's just something about them I'm not wholeheartedly sure about. And I know I got a chance to take some of the young boys to see them play live the other day.
I seen that. That was dope.
Yeah, shout out to Kylie and kids up front for the hookup there.
So tough.
I don't know. There's something just about their playing style. I gotta just see it to believe it. Fair. You know what I mean? I just gotta see it to believe it. But with Katie over there, with Şengün doing his thing, with the Thompson up there, get a Fred VanVleet healthy back and whatnot.
I don't think he's coming back this season healthy. He just tore his ACL.
This is true.
Yeah,
it's a push. He could probably make the playoffs if they make a run, but it would definitely be a push. But yeah, for that reason, I just don't know about Houston. But the Nuggets and OKC are probably my two favorites for the West. We'll see what happens with the Spurs and Wemby in them, because I'm still kind of watching that to see what that elevation and growth is like.
That guy's about to win like 7 MVPs in his future, bro.
I mean, I can believe it.
If health plays its part.
If health plays its part, I can believe it, because he's different. Defensively, like, it's ridiculous.
Sorry, excuse my language. He's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
What the fudge?
Yeah.
Like, what? What do you mean you grew 2 inches over the summer?
Like, you aren't already tall enough, and you're putting on muscle. Like
he's training with the strongest man, one of the strongest men of all time, Mark Henry, right now. He's about to become a beast. We're not talking about WWE Mark Henry.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about power lifter, world champion Mark Henry.
Yeah, and
I'm terrified. I'm terrified for the league, and I'm not even in there.
And like, Wemby is a perfect example of somebody who's in love with the process, in my opinion. I don't know from a can of paint, just watching from afar. Like, the moves that he's making, going to work out with the Buddhas and seeking on live, like, he's a student of the game, and he wants to genuinely get better at his craft. He ain't worried about what his endorsements look like and his deals look like. I'm pretty sure in the back of his mind, he's gonna. Him and his people are going to make sure they get the best deals, but
he doesn't even have to worry about that. He has his people to worry about that. He's cool, man.
Keeps the main thing the main thing.
Like, man. And there's no better organization that he could have went to than my favorite organization besides the Raptors. But the Raptors organization not my favorite.
Especially since they got rid of Masai.
San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
Favorite organization. I used to love Spurs basketball. Everyone used to make fun of me. Why do you like boring basketball? It's simple and it works.
Yeah.
You pass the ball around, everybody touches the ball. Got Tim Duncan. He's gonna score.
Yeah.
Or he's gonna make a sick pass. And he's gonna get you to stop on the next end. 18-time all defensive teams. He's gonna get you to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely, how do I want to say this? It isn't a love-hate thing, because I respect the heck out of the Spurs and Popovich and that organization. I'm just bitter because they stopped my boys 3-peat.
And I love it.
I just hate it because they stopped the man's 3-peat, man. You know what I mean? That's all, man. That's all. It's a bias, man.
No, I loved it. You know, the last time Kawhi lost to the Heat was that 2014 series, like a game to the Heat. He's been undefeated up until this season against them. That's 11 years.
I can believe it. In somewhat defense, though, he missed a lot of games.
He do be missing
some games.
He do be missing some games, but hey, man, if 2019 has showed anything, it's worth it.
I'll say this. It was 2018. Was it 2018 or 2017? I think it was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Where his ankle got hurt or whatnot.
2016.
Was it 2016?
Yeah. 2016-17 season.
That season, I remember I was like, yo, this dude is about to be the best player in the league.
Yeah.
I'm like, Kawhi Leonard is about to. And people are like, what are you talking? I'm like, no, you don't understand, man. Like, I don't get it because his game doesn't look like, it's not fancy or anything like that, but His handle solid.
It works.
His mid-range solid. He's got a solid 3-point shot. He locks up on defense. I don't even know who's on the Spurs right now. And the Spurs, like, and I remember the famous game 1. They were up by 25 until he got Pachulia. And I remember I was like, man, I know y'all say I'm a LeBron fan or whatnot. I go, but this guy right here is about to take that throne. Then he got injured. So when they said, I remember when they were rumoring that he was going to get traded to the Raptors, I'm like, there's no way the Spurs are going to do that. They're not stupid.
Literally the same thing I said. I seen the rumors. I'm like,
they're not doing that.
I'm like, Raptors don't get nobody.
Oh, they did it. Oh, we going to the finals.
Funny. Oh my God. Okay. So I seen the rumors. Chose not to believe it because I'm not getting my hopes up. Everybody's rumored to come to the Raptors. Ain't nobody come to the damn Raptors.
Yeah.
And then my mom calls me. She goes, Trev, the Raptors just made a trade. I'm like, oh, okay, for who? She goes, some guy named Kawhi Leonard. I'm like, first of all, it's Kawhi. And I'm like, no, we didn't. She goes, yes, I'm looking at it right now on Instagram. I'm like, what are you talking about? She sent me the post. I tweaked. On the phone, I'm like, yeah, we won the chip. She goes, you say this a lot. I'm like, no. We won the chip this year.
Yeah.
Comes around, we're watching game 6 at the crib. We win the chip. She looks at me, she goes, I hate giving you credit, but you said it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and you guys chose not to believe me. I should put some damn money on it.
Yeah, no, I remember I was at work. I was at the amphitheater on the loading dock, and my one boy, I say no name normally, but I'm gonna say his name. My one boy Pants or whatever. He come up to me. He's like, Raptors just made a trade for Kawhi Leonard cat. Is that good? I'm like, hold on. They traded for who? I'm like, okay, who did we give up? He's like, oh, well.
I thought we gave up a bag.
He's like, well, it was Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green for DeMar DeRozan and Jakob Poeltl. I said, that's it?
And a first.
I'm like, that's it? Like, that's it? We still got the rest of the team? It's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, we're going to the championship. He's like, is that good? I'm like, yes. He's that good. We had a solid team. Shout out to DeRozan. Love the fact that he loved the city. Love the fact that he called it home or whatnot. But that he was an example of somebody who in the fourth quarter becomes unplayable because now they're hunting him out on the defensive end.
Not only just that, he disappeared offensively too.
Well, and that's just it,
and he can't play make.
He was not definitely. He learned a lot in San Antonio on that. He learned a lot, but he was not the playmaker he is now. He was not the guaranteed bucket he is now, because at that point in time he settled a lot. So I was like, all right, you're not getting no stops on the defensive end, and you're not doing anything on the offensive end. You got to come off the floor. And if that's our franchise, if that's our leader, we can't win like that. So in making that trade and putting Kawhi in that spot with Lowry leading the squad, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I hated to see Valanciunas go.
Hey man, I hate to see him go, but you know.
But we needed a Gasol.
We needed Mark. We needed Mark.
So
Mark was well needed.
Reliving the championship year.
6 years ago, almost 7.
Right? Damn, I swear the Blue Jays was going to do it. I swear they were going to do it. I was in the building ready for it. I was like, all right, we're taking a game 6, and they let down game 6. And I'm like, all right.
1 in a million chance. How does the ball get stuck?
I still think when you play with the base, they call baseball, basketball gods. When you play with the sports gods, that's what it is. And no name, no blame, but I do have some people who is like, man, I want them to lose game 6 so we can have a game 7 in the city, get an extra paycheck, and have some more excitement and whatnot. Those people
lost us the series.
I low key give them blame for changing the momentum. You know what I'm saying? We should have like I in being privileged enough to work in that building, I would have been part of the parade and stuff. I was looking forward to being part of the championship parade and see, you know what I mean? Sitting in a golf cart and something like, yeah. I was looking forward to that, man. They kind of crushed that for me, but it is what it is, man.
I just want to say, Shohei, you chose the wrong team, but now I can't even say that because they just went back to back.
You know, it's all right, man. Shout out to the Dodgers.
Shout out to the Dodgers, man. Oh, man.
But yeah, man. Always a pleasure to chop it up with you, man.
Always, my brother.
Like I said, always one of my favorite people. Welcome to come through anytime you want to. You're welcome in the building anytime you want to. You already know that. Keep doing your thing, B. Like, keep doing your thing, man. I saw you the other day, and I told you them youth come around you because you're you.
Mm-hmm.
And they gonna keep coming. They gonna keep being around you and you know, following them footsteps and giving you more motivation to keep being you. So just keep doing that.
I appreciate you, my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
All right, folks. It's another episode of Culture on Culture. Let's start the convo. Shout out to Trevor in the building. Anything else going on you want to let these folks know about before departing? Any other programs? Any other things to look out for?
Not really.
Are you getting into coaching anytime soon?
Coaching? No. I don't have. Okay. I'll never say never.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's not on my plate, but I'm going to be looking to personal training very soon. Not basketball, but weight room, and it's happening very soon. I already got my logo and everything down packed. I got the ideas. I just need to go out and execute the studies.
Okay. And sorry, I misspoke. When I said coaching, I was referring to the personal training.
Okay, bet.
But you did correct me on that, which is cool. Because I've been on you forever. Like, man, you need to get into that lane. Yes. Especially you got the boy Affy in the gym and whatnot. You got like
I know you said no names, no. Shout out to Affy.
I gotta show.
I love seeing that guy in the gym. I see him every single time in the gym. It just makes me so happy. I tell him don't give me, because he always gives me credit. I'm like, don't give me that credit. I didn't go there pick up okay. Yeah. I was about to swear, my bad. Yeah. I didn't go and pick up a weight for you. I didn't lift that weight for you. You went, you did it. He goes, but you pushed me. I'm like, that's fine. I'm not taking credit for your work. You did this your damn self. Facts. And he's doing nothing but impressing me every single time I see that kid.
You know me, I say no name, no blame, but he's another one like yourself. He's another one of those youth. Like, I'm thankful I met him, and I'm happy every time I see him because he's just different, man, and embraces himself being different, and just goes for it, man. He's got a different type of focus, a different type of discipline, and yeah, man. Shout out to Affy, man.
Man, shout out to the Gym Steppers, man. Shout out to everybody in that Gym Steppers group chat, man. For real. We go in there, we put in the pain in the gym. Mm-hmm. Then we go in the group chat, we put in the pain in the roast. No matter what, it's never a dull moment in there, man. I have love for everybody in there. Love for everybody in the gym, community centers. Got a lot of love for you too, my guy. Appreciate you, bro. Always.
All right, King. I'll let you do your thing.